Okay, so good morning, students. So up till now, we have gone through the theoretical part, which are related with the valuation work. Okay, and some problems. It's not like that we haven't discussed anything, but a few problems we have discussed in our previous lecture. But again, I want to keep focus more on the problems. What are the nature of what categories of the problems being asked in your university examination, and also which will remain useful in your future professional life. At the time of doing valuation, you must know how to decide the rent, then what parameters you are going to consider, like net rent, gross income, then your outgoings, how you are going to calculate that based on different methods of differentiation, how to calculate the differentiated value of the building. Okay, then how to make the valuation of the building using the rental method of valuation or other methods like considering the profit and all that. Basically, deciding the rent is one important factor, and that is what we are going to discuss in this 2 days lecture. So let's begin with the problem. Now, first thing that I'm going to clear, after the conclusion of these problems, like a few problems we are going to discuss today and tomorrow also, in our tomorrow's lecture also. So whatever the problems that we are going to cover up, make the practice to solve the problems in the notebooks. Please refer the book of like estimation and valuation by the Charotar, that is Charotar Publications. That is the best book that we are having. Already, I have shared my study material with you, and in that soft copy of book is also there. If it is not, please let me know. I will share that soft copy of the book also, in which detailed problems are given, which may be asked for 9 marks. Actually, as now you are going to face your online examination, and which is totally MCQ based. So there will not be any question of asking a problem of 9 marks in the online examination, but still you must be familiar that how the problems are there. Okay, and that is why I'm going to take the problems in our upcoming few lectures, and then we will only practice all the MCQs which are related with our whole syllabus. First part, quantity estimation, and second part, valuation or tendering processes. Okay, so again, my suggestion to everyone, please go through the model answer papers again. In that study material, I have made a separate folder of model answer papers. Please go through that model answer papers, which are the best one, which again I have taken from the internet, and which are very good for understanding also, and the same questions they are going to ask in your university examination also. Okay, but again I'm coming back to the point. We are only focusing now on the MCQ based, but still how to solve the problem and what is the nature of the problem that is been asked for 9 marks. If let's hope that you will have some written examination and everything, if the situation uh, turns into very good situation, but if not, then don't worry, you are having MCQ based examination, and it may happen that there will be problem of 2 marks. Okay, short problem, some simple formula you have to remember, and based on that formula you have to solve the problem. Okay, so it may happen that such questions are also being there as far as our section 2 is considered or section 1 is considered. It may happen, huh? Nothing is predicted right now. It may happen that that examiner will ask you MCQ for 2 marks, and it's a short problem he is going to give you. Okay, which is totally dependent on the formulas. It may be formulas of the valuation, that is different methods of valuation or calculation of the depreciated value. See, please, whatever the tricks I'm or links I'm giving, please keep that things in your mind. Problems which are associated with the methods of valuation, or problems which are associated with the depreciation. Standard formulas are there. There is no variety which has been there. So just use the formula, put the values and get the answer. If the MCQ is being asked for 2 marks in your online MCQ based examination, but if it is not there, then there is no need to worry. Okay. So I hope I have cleared some points from my side before I am facing the internet connectivity problem. Okay, my voice is audible, na, everyone? So let's begin with the problem. I hope I have cleared my points. So, dear students, once again, for everyone, I am repeating the same thing for your quantity surveying and valuation subject, which is MCQ based. It may happen that, okay, all the exam, all your all subject exam is MCQ based. So, as far as quantity survey is considered, that examiner may ask you MCQ for 2 marks, and which is a short problem. It may be the problem of quantity estimation, or it may be the problem of valuation. Using the standard formulas, you have to solve. And this is the first time this online examination is going to happen for such subjects, for these subjects. So right now the prediction is it will be difficult for us, that only all for MCQ examination only theoretical questions, like some definitions and everything he is going to ask. Or it may happen that they will ask you problem of 2 marks, okay, or 1 mark, it may happen that. So you should be ready with all the material. Study material link is shared on the WhatsApp group as well as through email. So please go through that study material link. I have given access to each and every one, which includes your model answer papers, MCQs, class chapter wise notes, chapter wise PPTs, previous year question papers, additional study material, everything I have shared with everyone. So please start studying hard for this particular subject, because this subject, it brings lots of variety as far as a setting of the question paper is considered. Okay, I can turn the question in any direction, 360 degree, because there's that much variety is available with us. Okay, so it may be your theoretical definition is considered, or it may be the problem which is to be considered. So everyone should be alert as far as this subject is considered. Go through detail. Please study in detail about this subject. That will help you in your future life also, because that is mandatory subject. Whenever you are working on the set, you should have the knowledge of quantity estimation as well as valuation. Okay, so please go through this subject in detail if you are faced also in this week. So from today there will be no problem. Okay, so I had my points. So let's begin with the first problem. That is nothing but a problem which is on the standard rent. We called it as a standard rent. How to decide the rent of the property? Okay, one sample problem I have taken from the one of the model answer papers that has been asked in the MSBT. Okay, so if you look at the problem, that problem instance, a person purchases a plot measuring 600 square meter. So the plot size is given as 600 square meter at 900 per meter square rate. Okay, what is the rate? Rupees 900 per meter square. So on that particular plot, he is going to construct a building having 200 meter square built up area. So a person has purchased the land, open land, 600 square meter open land at a rate of 900 rupees per square meter. Then he has started his construction, which is having the built up area of 200 meter square. Okay. Then cost of construction is being rupees 700 per meter square. Rupees 700 per meter square. Now, rupees 700 per meter square. Can anybody just a question I am interested to ask? Can anybody tell me what is this 700 meters square indicates? Cost of construction only. Actually, if you consider the current market rate, it is around 11, 12, 13, 1400, correct? With material. Okay. So, without material, it is again 900 to 1100, around that rate. Anyone can expect. So the cost of construction as far as this problem is considered is given as 700 meter square. Then that owner desires to have a net return of 6% on the building cost. So on the building cost, he expects a net return of 6% and net return of 5% on the land cost. That is what are the open plot he is having. Okay. Assuming the outgoings as 22% of the gross income, so outgoings are 22% of the gross income, we have to find out the suitable rent for that particular property. Now if the problem, if you understand it very well, again I will explain. There is one person who is going to purchase a plot, open plot, having area 600 meter square. What is the rate? At the rate of rupees 900 per meter square. Okay. Then that person decides to construct a building having built up area of 200 meter square at a rate of rupees 700 per meter square. That is cost of construction. Okay. After construction, what he expects? He expects a net return of 6% on the building cost. So whatever the building he has constructed, he expect a net return of 6%, and he expect a net return of 5% on the open land, that is his plot. Okay, so based on that we have to decide whatever the rent which is applicable for that particular property. Okay, so how to deal with such problems? At first, our first step is nothing but we have to determine the cost of land, as that particular person has purchased a plot at a rate of rupees 900 per meter square. Area of the plot is 600. So first thing is to determine the cost of land. How we are going to decide the cost of land? The cost of land is equals to area multiplied by rate, that is given as 600 multiplied by 900, and that comes as 5 lakh 40,000. Okay, 5 lakh 40,000 rupees. That is the cost of land. Hmm? Then cost of building we have to determine. The area of the building is 200 meters square, and the rate at which that building is constructed is nothing but rupees 700 per meter square. So 200 multiplied by 700, that gives you the value as 1 lakh 40,000. 1 lakh 40,000. So cost of land is with us 5 lakh 5 lakh and 40,000, and cost of building is there, that is 1 lakh 40,000. Okay, now we have to find out the net rent. Okay, that is the suitable rent for that particular property. For deciding the net rent, at first we should know the net return also. Okay, actual cost of net return, that is the next thing that we are requiring. So how to find out this net return? It is been mentioned that owner is expecting a net return of 6% on building cost. What is building cost? 1 lakh 40,000, correct? And he is expecting 6% on the building cost. So net return equals to 6% of building cost, that is 6% of 1 lakh 40,000, that comes as 8,400 rupees. And he expects 5% net return on the land cost. So land cost is 5 lakh 40,000. So 5% of the 5 lakh 40,000, that comes as 27,000. Okay, so this is the net return he is expecting. What is the formula that we are going to use to determine the gross rent? Gross rent is nothing but net rent plus outgoings, correct? So this is simple formula, already we have discussed in our previous lectures also. So gross rent equals to net rent plus outgoings. So what is net rent? Net rent is nothing but net return per annum. Net return per annum. In this case, what is the net return? It is 8,400 plus 27,000. So net return is 35,400 rupees. Correct? So this is what it has been derived over here. So gross rent equals to net rent, already we have derived 35,400 rupees, plus outgoings are 22%. Here they have mentioned, assuming outgoings as 22% of gross income, but we don't know the value of the gross income. So it is just we have put up in the formula, gross rent equals to net rent, that is 35,400 rupees, plus 22% of the gross return or gross income, that is nothing but 0.22 of GR. So if you take this 0.22 over here, 1 minus 0.22, that comes as 0.78 GR, that is gross rent, equals to 35,400 rupees. If you solve this simple equation, you will get gross rent that comes as 45,384 rupees, that is per year. This is the gross rent which is available to that particular person at the end of any year. Okay, so this is per year gross rent. If you divide it by 12, so you will get the monthly rent. So gross rent per month that comes as 45,384 rupees, divided by 12, that comes as 3782 rupees. So in this way you can determine. It's a very simple formula problem we have discussed as far as this problem is considered. So please note down this problem, write down all these steps, and I will give you another problem to solve of same case. Okay. Now if you find any difficulty, please raise your hand, or you can put it in the chat box also. Otherwise, copy this problem. I will give you 4 minutes to just copy this problem. Please write it in your notebook. Don't take a screenshot or anything, because that will just preserve the data. But if you write, you will have some practice. Okay. So please write these problems in the notebook. I will give 4 minutes to write it down. And if you're done with the writing, please convey me the message in the chat box. Yes, sir, we have completed, so that we will proceed further. Still, if you're having any doubt, you can put it in the chat box also. It's 10:45, 42. At 46, 10:46, I will stop and I will take the next problem. Please write it down in the notebook. Have you copied the problem? Please respond if yes, so that we can proceed for the next one. Just a minute, students. Okay. I hope everyone is getting this problem so that we will proceed for the next one. Yes. Yes. The next problem which is in front of you. Work out the sinking fund installment per year. That means we have to determine the value of sinking fund installment. Yes, I or we called it as S. Okay, you can use in notation for per year for collecting the sinking fund of rupees 2 lakh in total 50 years of a life of a building at a rate of interest 4% per annum. Okay, now if you consider the nature of the problem, it's a reverse problem they have asked. What we have to determine? We have to determine the value of SI. We called it as sinking fund installment. Okay, for collecting a sinking fund of rupees 2 lakh rupees. Already the value of sinking fund is given, that is rupees 2 lakh. We have to find out the sinking fund installment. Okay, for a building having a life of 50 years and sinking fund rate of interest is 4% per annum. Okay, so what we have to determine? We have to determine the annual sinking fund installment which has been required for this particular case. Okay, value of SI or I, as I said earlier, you can use any notation. Okay, sinking fund amount is given, that is comes as rupees 2 lakh. Rate of interest for sinking fund is 4% per annum, and total life of building is 50 years, that is been mentioned. And what we have to determine? Sinking fund installment, that is nothing but sinking fund means, oh, everyone, please remember all the theoretical part which already we have discussed. If you forget what is sinking fund, it will be difficult job for you. I think you are not studying that. Sinking fund is nothing but that fund which we are going to keep aside from our whatever the gross income. Okay, which we are going to keep aside, and that is been utilized for the maintenance or for renewal or for the new purchase of that structure. म्हणजेच काय, थोडक्यामध्ये दर महिन्याला तुम्ही जे तुमच्या टोटल मिळतं तिथून जी बचत करत असता, ठीक आहे, सोप्या मराठी भाषेत सांगायचं झालं तर ती बचत म्हणजेच तुमची सिंकिंग फंड असते. म्हणजे 10,000 मंथली इन्कम आहे, त्या 10,000 पैकी दर महिन्याला मी 1,000 रुपये साचवतोय. कशासाठी साचवतोय? तर मला कुठेतरी नवीन गाळा घ्यायचा आहे, नवीन शॉप खरेदी करायचा आहे, किंवा एखादी प्रॉपर्टी नवीन खरेदी करायची आहे, किंवा जी काय माझी एक्झिस्टिंग प्रॉपर्टी असेल त्याचं रिन्युअल किंवा मेंटेनन्स, ठीक आहे, हे जे काय वर्क करायचं असेल त्यासाठी मी जी काही बचत करत असतो दर महिन्याला, सपोज तुम्ही एखादं दुकान लीजवरती आहे, ठीक आहे, किंवा गाड्या तुम्ही भाड्याने घेतलेल्या आहे, दर महिन्याला 5,000 रुपये भाडं असते. मग तुम्ही काय करत असता, दर महिन्याला काहीतरी पैसे काढून ठेवत असता त्या गाळ्याच्या भाड्यासाठी. किंवा भविष्यामध्ये नाही बाबा, हा गाळा मला स्वतःच घ्यायचा आहे, मग स्वतः घेण्यासाठी किती पैसा लागणार आहे, तर तुम्ही दर महिन्याला काहीतरी बचत करत असता. ही जी बचत असते, दॅट इज नथिंग बट युअर सिंकिंग फंड विच इज बीन फ्रॉम युअर ग्रॉस इन्कम. I hope now you can clear with this. Please remember, please study hard. Once again, I am repeating the same instruction. There are very, there are so many smaller definitions like what is sinking fund, what is year's purchase, what is book value, market value, salvage value, what are the types of rent, standard rent, gross rent. Okay, so in this, as far as section 2 is considered, theoretical problem, theoretical terms are so many. Okay, so please remember each and every term. Please study hard for this particular subject. So what we have to determine annual sinking fund. Okay, so first we will discuss the formula which has been there, that is for annual sinking fund. So for annual sinking fund, what is our formula? Already we have discussed. I equals to SI divided by 1 plus I bracket raised to n minus 1. Now this is the simple formula that you have to remember. Okay, sinking fund just a minute, somebody has put something. Sinking fund plus scrap value equals to the total cost of building. Correct? No, uh, not in every case. Okay. Sinking fund is nothing but from your gross income, you are going to keep some amount aside. Okay. It is not fixed that every month you are just going to keep 10% amount. Okay. So sinking fund plus scrap value. Again, you have to consider other whatever the other expenditures also. Okay, your outgoings also, your net income also, then that will give you the total cost or total gross income. Okay, not only the sinking fund and scrap value. Okay, I hope I have cleared your doubt. So what expression that we have to use for this sinking fund installment is nothing but I equals to SI divided by 1 plus I bracket raised to n minus 1. Okay, S is nothing but sinking fund amount. Okay, that is been given as rupees 2 lakh. I is nothing but rate of interest on this sinking fund, that comes as 4%, that is 0.04. Divided by 1 plus I is again 0.04. N is nothing but life of the structure, that is 50 years, that is been mentioned. If you keep the all the values in this single equation, you will get the annual sinking fund installment per year. Now if you consider this very small problem, this may happen that such problems will come in your MCQ examination also, because only single formula you have to use. You have to just put the values and you have to get the answer, correct answer. Okay, so please be aware of such problems which are very smaller one, having some standard formulas you have to use and you have to implement. Okay, so are you getting this problem? What is the formula to determine the annual sinking fund installment? Sinking fund installment is I equals to SI divided by 1 plus I bracket raised to n minus 1, where S is nothing but sinking fund amount, I is nothing but a rate of interest on the sinking fund, n is nothing but life of the structure. Put the values and get the answer. Okay, so please copy this problem again. 4 minutes are left to conclude this session, so please copy the problem, and again we will discuss a few more varieties in our next session also. So you can note down the problems from here. Please note it down everyone in your notebook. Anyone can ask you such problems in your MCQ based examination also. Everyone, please note down this problem so that in our next session we will discuss few more variety related to these problems. Less than 1 minute is left to conclude this session. So if the session ends, please rejoin the session using the same link immediately. Please rejoin. Huh?